You've been a part of snowboarding for like 25 plus years. What's that been like? Run us through your history a little bit.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it a little bit like so this is going to be my 36th year snowboarding. I started snowboarding in 1989. I'm 45 years old. So it is interesting and to watch the evolution. I think the most important thing that we have to do is like embrace the change and embrace evolution like as it comes at you in snowboarding. Like it's easy to get jaded and you remember your moments here, you remember this here, you remember that. And like, I'm on always like in my own head, I'm in this constant struggle of like I want to like do something that blows my mind, but also like I want to share with like older riders that like you might have it in you. Like if you just like, let the barriers come down and like sometimes like this year I had a really crazy moment where like I was on the cat track gap and we were having this session with Keegan and BMO and like Keegan did the first switch backside rodeo flip ever over the cat track gap in history, that'll be in like Atlas. But it was just like, the session was going. I was on the sticks, dude. I was running the HPX so that our filmer could run the Super 16. And I'm like getting that other angle and I'm feeling like part of the session that way. But then like after, he was done, I knew he wasn't gonna go back. He did the trick he wanted. You don't go hit fucking huge jumps for no reason, like if you get your trick. And then I was just like, man, I was kind of fiending for it. There were some other riders there at the session, and like, all of a sudden Keegan starts kind of being like, hey, anybody want to, clean this thing up or hit it, and I start seeing like the wheels turning on other people there. I'm like, dude, I kind of put in some work here. Like I probably, I might want to hit it out of nowhere. And I go up there and I'm not going to lie, dude. I fucking made a mistake. Like I was like, thinking like, oh, I'm the Sarge. I got all this confidence. I fucking hit this thing a million times. Like, you don't tell me where to go from. You don't tell me I don't need to speed check. You don't tell me these things. I go off and I kind of did like the 50-50. Like the 50% I made the tranny, the 50% I kind of didn't make the tranny. Huge gap, mind you. So I tomahawk down the landing. Goggles are toast, everything, I'm smoked out, like blah, blah, blah. And I gather up my stuff, walk by, grab another set of goggles out of my backpack, walk by the other crew that's about to start walking up the thing, kind of like bully my way in past them. Cause I'm like thinking, like, you want the money landing. I'm an older guy, dude. Like, I gotta have like the pimped out landing. So, like, fuck, bully my way up to the top, get up to the top of the drop in, know where I made one turn that was not allowed, like dropped in a little higher, even hit up my boy Keegan and Parker White and had them give me a little backcountry shovel schling down, came in and then like stomped it. And I was like, I didn't know at 45 if I'd ever go back and hit that one. That was kind of one of those jumps where I didn't know if I had it in me. So it was just like one of those moments, dude. Those are the ones I'm really fiending for. And like I know when like older guys like find out, oh, like he's 45 and like he hit that thing, like go stand on top of that sucker, and like you'll sort of realize like, that the takes a lot of balls. Like I was even thinking, you before you never think about these kind of things, but like I know both of you guys are parents, and so like pops in my head, like you got a daughter at home, like you make a mistake here, dude. You're gonna be out. Your wife's gonna be bummed on you. She's like, you're gonna be back on the injured list, and like we got a lot of stuff going on. But like, yeah, it's those little moments that like I really strive for, and like I do think a lot about like the aging crowd of snowboarders, and like try to leave an imprint that like makes them feel like I want to inspire like older riders to like keep going hard and like keep trying and impressing their homies and like hanging with the boys. Like nothing gives you more street credibility with like riders and stuff like the younger guys when like you're up there, you're hamming it up with them, like like you don't want to be just that guy in the background, like to be right in the mix. And like then you see the photos, you get a shot for the video, makes it all worth it.
I love this topic of like kind of multi-generational snowboarding and like the wisdom that can kind of be like passed along that way. I think there's so much value in that, and it's not something that gets talked about an awful lot, but I think it's super cool.
Yeah, like another thing that I really realized, not to like toot his horn too bad, he probably doesn't need it, but like Big Air Jer, like was such a leader, like out in the conch, dude, and like people sleep on that. Like, you roll out into a big bull after a big storm, and like you got to punch a line through that's like, it's scary. It's not fun. It's like a big ass face and you got to like hook around a cliff and you make a mistake there, you're screwed. And you don't get around that, you're screwed. And like, you don't make it up. And I also don't know if that whole face is just going to rip. And like, we just had gnarly avalanche situation with the whole Pash, like Keenan thing. So everyone was like ultra high alert, and I'm coming off spring break with my daughter in Palm Springs, like, and we roll in there and he just not a single set of doubt. Wah! Like, boom, punch the whole line through, set it up. And like, I'm not going to lie, like, I was having a little bit of an issue with it. And he came down, gave me a little pep talk, gave me the turbo, like, and I roasted up there. And like, we get to the secret zone that he wants to get to. And he already knows everything. And a lot of the times, like people wonder, like, oh, why is Big Air Jared the chosen one? Like, you earned that spot, dude. And like, he was the Sarge, on some of those days, and I was falling in line, dude. I was one of the corporals in the back, just doing my part, no
He puts
figuring.
in work.
Yeah, dude, and like that was really cool just to see, like he knew what he was doing. He knew what was up. And, like, I don't always get to go out and put 70 days a year on the sled, nowadays. I got a lot of other stuff rocking and rolling, but like, yeah, that's one of the things like I really appreciated about that trip to like kind of celebrate the El Camino, is just seeing him in his element and seeing the leadership, and he'd hit 4 or 5 jumps a day, and keep trying and keep sending and keep bumping him up to the top. And yeah, it was all due respect. And like, yeah, definitely like like right away, like he solidified his spot, dude, to be a king leader out there. Let's follow him.
Walk us through like the perfect day at Baker.
Perfect day at Baker. Okay, one of the things that I realized as like time has gone on is like social media and snow reports and like these things, they're really hindering our livelihood on our powder days. So like my secret that I would say nowadays is like I like a Baker powder day like 2 to 4 inches anew. Like maybe 80% of the people are going to be like, oh, that's not enough, it's going to be dust on crust, like I don't want to go up that day. That's the day I'm in the car early. That day I'm going to rip up to the mountain. I always just like I go pick up my boy Brad Andrew every day I ride. He's like my photographer and one of my best friends up here. Grab him, rip up to the mountain, and then I just like, yeah, just start teeing off the low hanging fruit, all the lines that you love. And like, the first ones you just do a couple like kind of under the chair on those 4 inch days, and then you just start your little traverses out. And it's just like, yeah, you just find a way for that board, that nose of that board to not cross very many tracks like all day, like you're one step ahead of the general pop, like like, oh, now we're going here. Now I'm going to the head one. Okay, yeah. I don't want to like, share too many of my little secret things. Yeah, it's like that run where, oh, I'm gonna go there next because no one else would have gone there. I'm gonna go here next because no one would have gone there. I'm gonna go get that one line in, or 2 weeks ago I butt checked off that cliff. Like now I'm gonna send it a little deeper over that one little pocket. And like, yeah, it's like a progression. Snowboarding will always and shall always continue to reward the faithful. Just go every day. Like, Lando used to always kill me because he was like, he never checks the report, like if you're a snowboarder, you're a pro snowboarder, just go every single day. Like, who cares? There's an opportunity out there. And some of my favorite days of my life were 1 inch of new or pouring rain or whatever. Like, if you're with the right people, you're with you're with some friends, you're with some rad like people to ride with. Like, I've ridden like bald faced lodge with like 50 inches of new, but if you ain't with like the people that you just
Yeah.
love, you know, or what, I don't know, like whatever it is, like, you know, sharing those moments, like it's always worth it.